Thank you for clicking on the podcast. My name is Brian, and today we're going to be talking to my cousins, Bobby and Niki Hipp. They own multiple different businesses, been successful at all of them through a lot of different years, starting different stuff, family events. They have 15,000 children, and even having all of that going on, they still find time to run these successful businesses and homeschool the children and a lot of other stuff. So we get into a lot of really cool stuff, real world things in this podcast. So stick around and learn some stuff. This is the Sweno Creative Podcast. I'll be your host, professional photographer and video content creator, Brian Sweno. In this podcast, we will discuss all parts of business, marketing, mindset, creativity, and self-improvement. Sometimes with the help of a special guest to provide some incredible outside perspective.
My name is Niki Hipp, and this is my husband, Bobby. Say hi. No, say hi. It's a podcast. And we own a couple of companies, but we own 7H Surplus, which is a liquidation and overstock store. We also own Barefoot Beauties, which is our online and brick and mortar boutique here in Roby. And then we also own a trucking company. It is Truck Dynasty Transport.
Nice. So let's dive into your guys' backstory a little bit. Mm-hmm. From the beginnings. You don't got to go from the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Obviously, you guys met, got married, had 15 children. Not enough to have your own reality TV show almost. Yeah. And then you were going to school for nursing.
Yes.
And became a nurse.
Yes.
So walk us through the transition of like nursing and then what made you guys decide to go sort of in this like entrepreneurial sort of direction.
Right. So, I actually always wanted to be a nurse since I was very, very young. I still have a passion for nursing. I love it a lot. Immediately after we started having babies, I went to school to become a nurse. I did the long route. I started out as an LPN and then got my associate's degree, then went back for my bachelor's degree and even started my master's degree because I had a goal to become a nurse practitioner at some point in time. And during that time, I was also working, and I was working at the hospital in Lebanon in labor and delivery as an RN, and I was on night shift, and we have lots of children, and my husband works out of state a lot. So working night shift with a family when you're a single parent most of the time, not that he chose that, but, you know, with him being gone a lot, it's just me. So I felt like I was being a neglectful mother a lot of times. Like I just did not like it. I was not seeing my children as much as I wanted to. They weren't getting, mom or dad time a lot of times. So, and there was not going to be any openings on day shift for the foreseeable future. So, we had to make a decision to end that part of my career until we could figure out what I was going to do differently. We actually made that decision because we had also been leaning towards homeschooling our kids for a long time, and this just seemed like the planets were aligning for that to happen. So we decided to have me quit my job and stay home and start homeschooling. But anybody that knows me knows that I cannot sit still at all. I have to be doing something all the time. And I don't know how I even started looking into owning a liquidation business, but I got really into it, doing research for years. I was really into it, and I wanted to start a business doing it for a long time. I could not get any of my family members on board with me to start it with me, but I did find a couple of friends that decided to go into business with me, and we actually started out as Backroad Bargains over in Lynchburg. For any local people that came by and saw us a few years ago, back when we were open, that partnership lasted about a year, and it did very well, especially since we opened the year of COVID. But the partnership broke up because we just were going on different paths, and so we had different things going on. So that partnership ended, but I still wanted to do the liquidation thing, so we decided just to do it on our own, but we did not have a building anymore to have a storefront in. So while we were looking for that building, I still could not sit still and decided to I decided to start an online boutique out of the guest room of my house, thinking that it would be a little side gig, like not anything major at all. I figured my friends and family might enjoy, shopping with me and stuff. And that's how we started out. And the boutique actually like blew up rather quickly. We have shipped to well over 50, well over 25 of the 50 states across the country.
Well over 50 states.
That's awesome.
No.
You're making up new states just to ship to them?
No, we've shipped as far away as Hawaii. We have quite a customer base now. We have a TikTok shop with a very strong following on there. We've got our Facebook page that we sell from. Most of our customers shop with us on our website and on our app. So we do have an app as well for them to shop on, but we still do the live sales every single day so that people are still getting to see our faces and shop with us that way. But I honestly did not expect the boutique to blow up like it did, and it really took off. So whenever we did find a building for the liquidation, because we did still want to do that, it happened to be a large enough building that we could do both out of it. So it just worked out perfectly for us to do so.
Which is where we are today, which is the change of scenery a little bit
Yes.
here. It's weird being in a bright environment because I'm normally
really?
in a blacked out room.
Yeah,
So
it's pretty bright in here. Yeah. But yeah, that's where we're at now. So it was kind of like a weird journey from one thing to another. And I mean, things work out the way they're supposed to. So I feel like we are exactly where we're supposed to be right now.
but like almost out of necessity.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
what?
Family always comes first.
Yeah.
And the one thing I truly love about what we're doing right now is I am still able to homeschool my kids. My kids come to work with me every single day. We have a room dedicated to homeschooling, and I can still work and be a mom full time. Like it works perfectly.
So rewinding back a little bit, the idea of the online boutique,
Yeah.
where did that idea even come from? That's not the first thing people would probably think to do.
Yeah, I don't really know. I honestly don't know. I think that I'm always trying to stay ahead of the game. That's just how my brain works. And I shop a lot. Like I'm a shopper. So I follow lots of boutiques online, and I knew which ones impressed me the most. And usually they were the ones that were doing A, B, and C versus D, E, and F. So I tried to kind of like gather as much information as I could I just started doing research, trying to figure out like, how are they accomplishing this? How are they doing that? And it led me into the partnerships I have right now with the company that I run my website off of, that built my app for me, that the company that we use actually is amazing. They have a lot of support. I actually have a meeting with them today, later this afternoon, where they help me grow my business. And I mean, it's just, if you are able to take the time to do your research, you can usually find the things that you need to be successful.
I think that is one of the things that separates people that actually end up being successful at something, like taking the initiative to learn about it.
Oh, yeah.
And put in the time and effort required to then make it successful, like market research.
Yes.
Like, shopping,
Yes.
you knew what you liked,
Shopping
what you
habits,
didn't like.
yes.
And what you didn't like is probably more helpful than what you do like. In
Right.
that, you know what sort of customer experience you want to give.
Yes.
But just like with photos in my world, for example, like I know I've had photos taken by, I'm not going to say terrible photographers.
Subpar. Subpar.
I knew exactly what I did not want to do as a
Right.
photographer or
Yes.
video guy. So
Yes.
that helped me in that direction.
Same with shopping experiences. So like with our boutique especially, and I talk with Bobby about this probably every single day. I am a shopper, so I do know what I am looking for whenever I am shopping, and not just as far as apparel goes. I know what I'm looking for as far as customer service goes, as far as what my options are, like what I'm willing to pay for shipping, all these different things. And the main thing that I think makes us as successful as we are is we listen to our customers. We take their feedback and we use it. So if I am hearing a complaint about something, I try to fix that immediately. I don't want anybody to leave here unhappy or to leave the website unhappy or anything like that. So anybody that's listening out there, if you have opinions or something that you want changed, send me a message because I listen.
Yeah, that'll set you apart immediately too.
Yes.
Because most people just don't listen.
Yes.
Or pay attention to what their
Right.
actual, like, you're always going to have those outliers of people that just want to complain about something just to complain.
Yeah.
But like if someone's going to a boutique, that's totally a choice. You know, that's
Right.
not a necessity thing. Do you find any challenge in that, being not only a service-based, but like, it's totally an option whether you shop with you or not?
It's definitely not
a need.
Necessity. Yeah, it's not a necessity. We are definitely an option. Like
in terms of business,
yeah. So
positioning yourself to where people actually want to shop with you.
So again, like what we try to do, and I ask for Bobby's feedback, even though, you know, he's not necessarily my target demographic. He will still tell me, like, you know, I know that you're doing this for this reason, but I really feel like you should do it this way. And so I take his feedback as well and run with it. But we try to make sure that even though it's not a necessity, it's still something that people are going to want. So we try to keep in things that people are going to always be looking for. We also try to set us up to where it's an experience, like not just in the store, but like with our live sales, our customers are actual friends of mine. Like I have made friends with people all over the country because I have grown these relationships with them. So sorry, I forgot to turn my phone off.
Good.
I've developed these relationships with them so that when we go live, I am talking to people that I have known for a while. I'm talking to people that want to have a conversation with me as well. So it's actually really nice. It's like hanging out with your friends every single time we do a live sale. Plus we're getting to shop, and who doesn't love to do that? So.
And you're building that community sort of feel like that, so they feel like you are their friend as well.
Absolutely.
I mean, you want to position it like you are their friend.
Yeah,
so it's not like it's not like you're putting it on a facade, you know.
No, yeah.
Like you genuinely actually care, and you genuinely are friends with them.
And I'm not like, I am one, and I'm not the only boutique owner like this, I know that, but I am one of the boutique owners that like I actually care about how you're going to feel once you receive the item. I don't want to just make the sale. I am going to be 100% honest with that customer about the fit, the feel, the fabric. Like I want them to know like these shoes probably are not going to be comfortable for you to walk around in all day if I feel that way. Yeah. But I will suggest, you know, another option that they have, or, you know, just things like that. I try to take all of that into consideration whenever we have a customer new or an existing customer. And they know that. Like I just had one of my customers who has become a very good friend of mine this morning. She texted me. We had a shirt on the live sale yesterday that is a new style of shirt than we've had before. She wants me to try it on and see how the fit is and text her about it to let her know because she wants to know how it fits. And she knows I'll do that. Yeah. That's why she texted me. So yeah, we've developed very close relationships with our customers over the years. So
going back to the trucking company, you guys had that established already.
Yes.
Through the nursing stuff that you were doing?
Actually, so whenever I was working as a nurse, Bobby worked in the oil field. He was working in the oil field for, how many years were you working out there?
Three.
It was a while.
It was a long time. And it was 3 years, but it was spread out because they would do like massive layoffs and stuff, and then bring him back and everything. But during that time, he made friends out there with the different services to the oil fields. And he just got to talking to some guys about driving trucks out in the oil field. And, you know, they make good money too. And it's a little bit more, we thought going into it that it would be a little better schedule wise because.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say is, you know, then it was like a month on and we were trying to transition to something, you know, a little more like the trucking. I could get home every weekend, so that was quite a bit better. Really, that was kind of the goal there.
It didn't work out that way. You were still gone a lot with trucking in the oil field. So then we transitioned to trucking, just like long haul trucking, and then we just kept progressing until he had his own authority to haul whatever you wanted. And I will say that the economy changes things and politics change things, and the trucking industry is not at its peak right now, unfortunately. But again, we are hustlers, so we just adapt to our new environment. So we have adapted the trucking company to fit our family's needs as well as what the economy is allowing for right now.
Yeah. What sort of lessons, but you had that established before you went into this venture.
Correct.
What sort of lessons did you guys both learn from that whole endeavor that you took into owning another business? Because trucking, people think of like you just get in a truck and drive, but it is a business. Like you have to schedule things out. Like it's got to be.
I think that because that was the first business, really, and I think it helped a ton for like this and the others. Honestly, it was like our starting business, I guess, and we learned quite a bit. Still are. But
I think the main thing that it taught us was that just transitioning from having a 9-to-5 job versus owning your own company, like you're not guaranteed a paycheck if you're not making things happen.
Yeah.
So you have to learn to make it your whole world. Like it is your whole world. You don't get to check out at 5 o'clock when you go home. Even now, like with all of the businesses, we go home at night and sometimes it causes issues because it would be so nice to just check out as soon as I turn the lights off and lock the door. But I go home and I'm checking messages and I'm checking emails and I am responding and I'm planning for the next day and I'm ordering new merchandise, and we have multiple businesses. So I have to do that times 2 for me. And before we had these 2 stores and we just had the trucking company, I was much more hands-on with the trucking company than I am now. Now Bobby handles 99.9% of it. And I'm so glad because it is a hard job and I did not like it because it was so much. My brain was frazzled all the time because of all the paperwork, and there's a lot to trucking. It is not for the weak.
Yeah. What are some common misconceptions with that, other than you get in a truck and drive?
I think
that's a very big misconception. But
absolutely.
What are some other things that someone might not think of that comes with trucking?
Especially with owning your own business in trucking, I don't think people realize the cost. What was it last year when it was time to renew our plates, which we had 2 trucks at the time and we owned our own authority, and we had a lot of things going on, a lot of moving parts. So just to renew our authority was I think it was upwards of $9,000 or something. That's a big chunk of change to just spend in a day.
What is that specifically to own your own authority?
So you have your own DOT numbers. You're able to book your own loads. You don't have to go through a company, because a lot of times you will have to be leased on to a company that has their own DOT numbers to haul. You can explain this so much better. I don't even know why I'm talking. Go ahead.
You're doing fine. That's basically it. It just it's a specific number to that company. You're 100% your own,
So it's almost like a business identity number, like a bank account number, almost, but for the road.
Legally, a truck cannot be driving on or hauling anything on the road unless they have a correct DOT number on the side, and you can't book loads or anything without that DOT number.
If you're leased on somewhere, basically, essentially, you're
using
kind of a partnership, where if you have your own, Truck Dynasty, then you're solely everything.
You find your own loads. You get to negotiate your own rates. There's a lot of benefits to having your own authority. There's also a ton of drawbacks because you don't have that partnership where you don't have those other people that are helping you book those loads. You don't have other people negotiating rates for you or paying those huge costs when it comes down to it.
And gas, I assume, was a gigantic factor in all of that.
Huge.
Yeah.
What sort of impact did that make on you guys whenever everything kind of doubled, almost tripled in price there.
Well,
what sort of impact did that make?
That's a huge impact. That has really destroyed the trucking industry right now because, unfortunately, the gas prices have risen to like astronomical rates, and they're not coming down like they should. And the unfortunate part is that rates are as low as I've ever seen them since we started 5 years ago. Like the rates are ridiculously low. So you've got these truckers that have been doing this their whole life that are looking to get out of it because there's no reason to do it. Why are you staying gone from your family for a whole week to make no money? Mm-hmm. Because after you pay for your fuel and you pay for your insurance, because, commercial insurance is insane. You've got all of these different things that you have to pay for. And when it's all said and done, you don't have any dollars left over at the end of the week. Like it's not a great job right now. And that is where that political side of it comes into, as soon as, the president changes or, they pass new bills or whatever, you will see huge impacts to things like the trucking industry. And it's just an unfortunate side of it.
Is that something you guys are looking to hold on to and see how this next election goes?
We're really not sure. It's like up in the air. It's still, we still are going to be trucking for a while. Like it's still the bread and butter. But
I didn't know if that was like, you're on the fence about getting out of it,
we are on the fence,
you kind of want to hang on and see because
that's exactly
it could be way more lucrative if the gas wasn't $15 a gallon,
Right. When we first started, it was a very lucrative job. I mean, it was the best we had ever lived.
Rates go up or fuel comes at something, but they've got it.
He shouldn't be working as hard as he is and still be like essentially paycheck to paycheck as it like when you really look at the numbers, but
So having your own number, what would you call that?
His DOT number.
DOT
his own
number?
Own authority.
Yeah, your authority. So that is essentially like in the trucking industry of being a business owner versus being an employee for someone else's trucking company.
Well, there's different things. So like he is a business owner even without his own authority. So he owns the Truck Dynasty Transport. That is the company. And he's still like, because he owns his own truck, he owns his own company. Even when he's leased onto a company, he's still the owner of that trucking company. He's just using their DOT numbers to book these loads, and he's essentially partnering up with them and paying them a percentage of each load so that he can use their contacts and their contracts with these companies to haul the loads for. That's what it really boils down to.
A lot of times, like in times like right now, it's nice to lease, pair up with one of them that have these contracts, because if you're small, and don't have the
fleet.
Yeah, the fleet or partners, what's the word?
The contacts.
Yeah. It's a lot. It's really tough. Yeah. Tough.
Because some companies aren't going to even talk to you about hauling for them if you don't have so many trucks available. They want you to have at least 10 trucks available to haul loads for them, and they consider that a very small fleet. Yeah. A company like us that only has 2 trucks, and really we don't even plan to grow past that because we're not trying to become a massive trucking company. We're just trying to, put food on the table, and have a decent work schedule. Yeah. They're not looking to sell contracts to us.
So in my sort of world, it would be like a production company is another company, and I would be like a camera operator or something that they hire on. Yeah. And if I own 3 cameras, they might need 3 cameras and hire me because of that sort of thing.
Correct. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So being leased onto a company, you're not a company because, so there's my dumb brain looks at it as 3 levels, because I don't know that much about the trucking company, but there's a company driver. That's an actual employee of the trucking company that drives a truck. And then there is a owner operator. That is somebody that is leased on to the trucking company leased onto the trucking company. And, they are going to get paid a lot more for those loads, but it's because they own the truck They pay for the maintenance. They pay for the fuel. You know, an owner-operator owns the truck and all of the costs that come with it. But you're still getting to use the trucking company's contacts and the benefits that come with it. And you don't have the cost of, you know, the authority that is taken on by the trucking company. And then you've got the truck drivers that are owner operators with their own authority. And those guys they are responsible for all of it. They own 100% of everything, you know, that is coming out of the bank account, but they're also getting 100% of what's coming into it. So there's different levels, and payout is different, but expense is different as well. So it's different for everybody, and there's different fits for different people.
Yeah.
So you guys are looking to continue that
Right now.
for the foreseeable future.
We're on the fence.
Yeah.
This is doing the boutique, and the liquidation is doing well enough at this point that was always the eventual goal, is to find something that would bring him home full time. You know, we miss him when he's gone, even though he's gone, you know, just a few days at a time. We don't like it. We want him to be home every single night. And we're doing well enough with the store now that we actually have that option maybe in the near future that he can get out of trucking and come help me here at the store.
I can see Bobby being the next model for your boutique.
I make him take model pictures sometimes.
We've discussed that. I'm going to one day put on one of these something.
Be a big old poster outside of him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That'd bring in the business.
And his overalls.
So going back to Barefoot Beauties, which is the name of the boutique.
Yeah,
and
I
the
catch some
online
flack
sale.
for that name.
Yeah, where did the name come from? That's what I was going to ask.
So the name, we're like hippies at heart. Like, I feel like I'm a hippie at heart. So like all of our kids have like kind of hippie names and stuff.
And your last name is Hipp.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I always forget that. So our last name is Hipp. But, Barefoot Beauties, I just named it after my two little girls, our two youngest. They are literally always barefoot, even here in the store. And they look like they are straight out of, you know, the wild every time you see them. They're just like little barefoot, beautiful babies. And so that's what I named it after. I wanted to name it after the girls, and that just kind of came to me, and I was ready to get started. And I don't know if you've ever tried to name something, but I'm not good at it, and it takes a long time.
Do you notice what my name of my business is? My last name and then visuals. Which
it's
the easiest
hard.
possible thing is what I came up with.
It is so hard, and I think people take that for granted sometimes. But unfortunately, I catch some flack because, one, a lot of people don't know what the heck that means, so they always ask, and I'm happy to explain it. But two, don't Google Barefoot Beauties. Please do not do that, because it
I didn't
will
even think
pull
about
up.
that aspect of it.
It pulls weird stuff up, and I never would have thought that. And I really that's a regretful decision on my part. But I mean, here we are. So.
Yeah. Just go on the site if you want to order anything, not Google.
Yeah, it's shopbarefootbeauties.com. Please do not Google.
And I'll link that. I'll link all your guys' stuff in the description as well. What are some challenges that you guys have faced in not only starting this business, but the space? Because having a physical location is way different of a thing than just having an online sale.
It's a whole nother animal. So when we found the building, it's actually kind of funny, because the building that we have now, I actually wanted it whenever we were in that 3-way partnership with our first liquidation store. It had come up for sale then, and I tried to talk them into it then, but we weren't really at a place where we could afford to do it, any of us. And I think that there was probably some hindrance because we didn't really know where the company was going to go long term, because we really did start that one as just a side gig for some stay-at-home moms. We were only open one day a week. It was literally just for us to do something fun on the side. So we didn't get it then, but I was so bummed about it, because I was like, it is perfect location for us. It is exactly where I want to be at. I think we could really and the building was rough. I mean, rough. And even worse, whenever we bought it finally, 3 years later?
Yeah.
3.5 years later. So yeah, they came up for sale again. We grabbed it, and I'm so glad that we did. But we got in here, and I knew it was going to need a full overhaul, but probably not to the extent that we thought it was. Once we started really getting into it and started pulling like sheetrock down and everything, the building we ended up not just gutting the whole building, but we even replaced the exterior framework. We replaced all of the metal on the roof and the sides. New insulation had to be put in. It is literally a brand new building. The only thing we kept was the concrete floors and the steel beams that were holding up the...
So it might have actually been easier just to buy some land and build.
It would have been so much cheaper, I think. Yeah, but we did a full overhaul on the building, and I think it turned out great. I really love whenever somebody comes in that remembers it from when it was the old car auction back in the 70s, because, or even in the 90s, whenever it was open. Like, it's been several things over the years, but because we did so much to the building, it's a real shock to people's systems when they come in and see it now.
It looks
because
completely different.
It's totally different.
You guys have done a really good job.
Thank you. We tried really hard.
Like, it fits the whole aesthetic too. Like,
I hope so. Yeah.
The wood on the, like,
yes.
It's not like not like grungy, but like,
it's rustic.
Yeah. That whole vibe, and it fits like the style of stuff you try to promote and sell the most.
Yeah.
So
yes. Yeah. And I probably my favorite thing about this building is that the rustic white boards on the wall that resemble shiplap, they're not actual shiplap. They were plywood sheets that were on the walls and ceiling in the back of the building, back in our 7H surplus side. They were on the walls back there. They all had to come down anyway because we had to redo all the insulation, and also I did not want plywood sheets like they looked back there. So we pulled everything down, and I don't know if you heard, but the construction costs of everything went like through the roof immediately after we bought this building. So the cost of lumber was insane, and we needed a lot of it. So we decided to recycle as much as we could in this building, including those plywood sheets. We just threw a coat of paint on them, literally just one coat, because I wanted them to still look rustic and kind of old and weathered. And we ripped them into these boards and slapped them back up on the walls, and it turned out so good.
Was there anything that come up that was totally unexpected? Like, you had an idea of the building, the state of the building, but like a total, okay, now we got to do that. Yeah.
So there was a lot of those things actually. So when we started pulling down the drywall here in the front, like when you first walk through the front door, that whole front wall where the front door is at, with our two windows, the front wall and the two side walls that adjoin it. We pulled the drywall down and pulled the insulation out because the insulation was soaking wet, and we're like, that's weird. We pulled it out, and we knew there was a leak somewhere, but apparently there had been a leak probably the entire time this building had been standing, because the frame work of the outside walls had completely rotted higher than I am tall, and I'm 5'2". So I mean,
that's only like 2.5 feet though.
They were like, there was no wood left at the bottom half of the building. I don't know how the building had not collapsed in on itself. It was pretty astounding. So we had a ton of work that had to be done that we did not anticipate, which puts your timeline further back. It costs a lot more money. You've got to reschedule with other contractors. And if they start another project while they're waiting on you, then you've got to wait even longer for them to get done with that to come back to you. It just
sounds like that one was from personal experience.
Yeah. That is like, that was a big one. I think the plumbing issue was another big issue. We still aren't real sure how the original plumbing is set up in this building, because it did not make any sense when we started fixing it. Yeah. So we just decided to do all new. What else? Can you think of anything else that was like, what?
Yeah, not really. Those
were the main ones.
With all the headaches and stuff that pop up with owning a physical location, all those unexpected costs and just the general overhead of even just electric and plumbing, stuff like that, what made you decide to go that route whenever you had already established an online?
So, okay, that's a really good question. So we actually, we had established a pretty decent following with our online business, but it was just enough to like have a little extra cash in my pocket. It was not anything that was going to pay the bills or anything like that with our online store. And I actually wanted to get back into the liquidation so bad. I could not stand it. I like that business. I think it's fun. I like to offer discounted things, especially because we live in such a rural area. I mean, it takes us 30 minutes to get to the nearest town. It takes us an hour and a half to get to the nearest town that has, you know, major stores. And so I wanted to offer these things to local residents again, because we had so many people that were so upset that we closed down Back Road Bargains. So we were really wanting to get back into that. We needed a storefront for that business. And I wanted to continue with the boutique as well. So that's why we decided to just put them both in the same building. There's a lot of space here. We had plenty of space to do both. And
so the surplus though was the driving factor by getting a physical location.
Yes. But you know what? After we actually ended up opening the boutique side first because the construction was complete on it first. And I'm so glad that we opened a storefront because it expanded our reach to customers so much. Like it really helped the business blossom into what it is now. And I could not even I cried the first day that we opened because the local residents' support was like insane. I never would have imagined that we would ever make that much in a month, let alone in a day. Yeah. And that first day, like I literally cried.
Well, that's why, it was, I don't know, kind of by accident, the whole, because the liquidation was
that was the business. This was like supposed to be like a little hobby on the side.
Yeah, the pause between, I guess to back up what she was saying earlier, when she opened the online deal, that was like out of the house. So
just to keep me busy.
That everybody can kind of see how that happened. It was just online, and then like it is growing crazy.
It's getting really crazy.
So everything
in the best
like, well,
ways.
we're the liquid, yeah. So then that's when this come about. And it's some of the, would you say vendor or like merchandise? That's something that I learned that was kind of neat, but you had to have a brick and mortar before they would even. A
lot of places won't even let me buy their stuff at wholesale unless I have a brick and mortar. They won't even let me open an account. So that opened up a lot of options for me. But brick and mortars is that's a big thing to take on. So one thing that I want new business owners or people thinking about getting into business to remember is that you're going from almost no overhead if you're working out of your house to a tremendous amount of overhead that is going to cut your profit a lot. And if you're not at a point where you need the brick and mortar, or if you can make it without the brick and mortar, I highly suggest that you do that. Because it is, most companies are actually getting away from brick and mortar, including boutiques. They're mostly online now. So if you can do that, you're better off. It just worked out for us that we're going to have one opening anyway. And it also worked out for us that it created a whole new wave of customer support for us. But, it definitely is going to cost a fortune for you. So keep that in mind. And it's not always the best way to go about it.
What strategies, if any, pre-thought out strategies, other than like your previous knowledge of being a shopper yourself, what have you done to differentiate yourself from all the other boutiques? Because I feel like boutiques are like the thing right now.
They are. And I actually get told on a regular basis by many different people that, mine stands out. And I think that is funny because I'm actually not even trying to stand out. I truly do not, like, that is not ever in the forefront of my mind. But what I have noticed as a shopper, because I still shop other boutiques, I am not going to stop shopping. And other places have things that I don't have.
That'll cut into your overhead too.
Yeah. Other boutiques have things that I don't carry. So, you know, if it's something that I want that I don't think that my customer base is looking for, I obviously buy it from another boutique. But like, I don't think about that whenever I am, you know, buying things for the store or anything like that. I literally am shopping for myself and my, like, loyal customers that I know what they're looking for. Like, I know what I am looking to, you know, put in my closet. I know what they're looking to put in their closet because I listen to my customers. So that's what I'm shopping for. I'm looking for these things that are, you know, I don't know if trendy is the right word. Like, there are certain trends that we do try to keep in the store, but I am not a trend shopper, if that makes sense, because most people want things that are going to be like a timeless piece, something that they can wear in 2 years' time that, you know, just because it was cool in the moment.
Not
you
the
know.
latest TikTok trend.
Right, right. So, not always. I do carry some things that, you know, are trendy. Yeah. I'm not saying that, but, yeah, I don't try to look for things that, you know, are super popular on TikTok right now or something. But I have noticed with other boutiques, that's where I was going with this, with other boutiques, they are, a lot of times I see them copycatting each other. They are they're so worried about what each other is doing or what each other is carrying. They're not really paying attention to what their customers are needing. And
or what they're wanting.
Yes.
They actually want.
Yes. And I'm sure some of them are still successful because their customers are just willing to buy whatever they've got in that store. Like, you become loyal to a store and you'll buy whatever that store has. Yeah. But I have noticed a lot of boutiques start looking like each other because of that. And I think that a lot of people have gone into the boutique business thinking that it is just the easiest. You're just a personal shopper. And that's 100% incorrect. That is the last thing on my plate at the end of the day. I mean, the stress level of owning a boutique sometimes is like insane. But yeah, I get to pick out fun things to buy for the store, but that is one of the benefits. And there are so many other things that go into it that, you know, it's not cut out for everybody, you know, and just because you like to shop doesn't mean that you're going to be good at picking out things for the masses. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? You're not going to, you not only have to be able to find items that lots of people are going to be interested in, you have to be good at stylizing those items because not everything looks good on a hanger. You've got to show the customer how it's going to look with different pieces that you've got. You've got to convince them that they need to try it on, because if they don't feel like they're going to look good in it, they're not even going to try it on. And you need them to try it on so that they can be confident. You know, you also have to be a cheerleader. You have to, you know, make her feel like $1 million and don't lie to her. You know what I mean? Like, you have to be her friend and her cheerleader. You also have to be good at marketing. Like, I don't know if people realize this, but I am like a one-man show right now. I have some brand reps that work for me for little to no pay. They are awesome. They're rock stars. They take pictures for me in the outfits. But past that, I mean, that's basically the whole of their job. They just have to take pictures in the outfits and post them. That's all they have to do, as far as their job title goes. But like, I'm the one that's doing all of our marketing. I'm the one that's doing all of our campaigns. I'm the one that puts together all of our graphic design that is out there. I'm the one that is, the manual labor here at the store. I do have 5 kids that are super helpful, and my husband is home sometimes to help me as well. But when it comes down to it, it's me. It's a lot. It's not for anybody that thinks that you're just going to get to sit in a chair on a computer and look at pretty clothes all day. It is nothing like that.
Yeah. I find that in my line of work as well. Like, people think anybody could take a photo, which is true.
Yeah.
Anybody can take a photo or snap this picture. You hear that thrown around?
Yeah.
But like, to make a photograph that once, like, you're scrolling through Facebook or Instagram, makes you stop. Like, not everyone
catches
can do
your
that.
eye. Yeah. No.
Especially video stuff too. Like, and you find that a lot where, like, boutiques probably the same way. It's in right now. A lot of people are trying to get into it. They want the easy money. It seems like everyone's doing it and making some money on it. Just like with cameras.
No.
Every like 2 years, I've noticed there's like a resurgence of a couple people who pick up a camera, start a photography business, and then they post, sorry guys, like, I'm going to stop taking on clients because it's actual work if you want to succeed at it.
Yeah.
I think that's something that kind of across the board, like, as a business owner, you have to have that drive and the want to succeed for yourself originally.
You have to be hungry for that success, because that's, another thing that in the boutique business too, you have to be a photographer. And that was not something I anticipated. And when I started out, I was not good at it, and I'm still not great at it, but you learn a lot of little tricks and tips. And, sometimes I get a photographer to compliment on, my flat lay, and I'm like, that's so cool.
Well, like, whenever you first started though, like I did that shoot for you.
Yes.
And that was a learning experience for me as well. Like, I had never branched off into this thing. So that was cool as well. But like, you taking what I sort of did and like picking out the pieces you liked of that and taking it on, like, I can tell the things that you liked of what I did, you continued, which is good. Like, that's what my goal is with the podcast, and like, enable other people to be successful without having to pay me to do it. But if they want to pay me to do it, I'll totally do it for you for some money,
Right. Yeah. And as with a boutique, like, it's not even about like paying somebody to do it. I don't have the time to schedule out, a block of time for us to do, photo shoots and things like that.
And you're an hour removed from almost anything.
And we get new things in every single day. So like, we would literally have to do a photography session once a week or something, and it would just be an insane schedule. So we have to get real good at taking pictures and videos with our phones, and that's not always good, but we have to get even better at editing afterward. And so I'm trying to get real good at editing, because
doing the live sales and stuff, that also helps, because you don't have video editing or anything like that. You're live. That's a good and a bad thing sometimes, to be live and being out here removed. I've noticed your internet.
Yes.
Like, you'll be on the live sale, and then all of a sudden
it gets real glitchy.
You freeze for a second, and then you say, okay, we're back. So.
Sorry. Oh yeah. So like, what was that, yesterday or the day before, we did a live sale, and I forgot to turn my Bluetooth off. So my phone connected to my AirPods, which were across the room on my desk, and the customers couldn't hear me. They were like, you sound really far away. And one of my customers told me to clean my microphone. So I thought I had shut the camera off to where they couldn't see me anymore. I took the phone down, and I was like blowing into the bottom of my phone and I was still live. Yeah. So I did that for like 45 seconds into their ears, but you live and you learn.
Yeah. So transitioning from what you just said about, you do all the marketing, all that stuff. What exactly do you do that you find is the most successful, reaches the most people?
That's a tough one. So I am still learning, and it changes all the time.
It's a constant learning thing.
It's a constant thing. It changes all the time. So like, and especially with different demographics, because I actually am trying to reach different demographics all the time. I'm not just looking for the 18 to 25 year olds. I love it when they come in here and shop or order things from me online, but those are not always who I'm looking for. I literally carry things for all ages and sizes. Not online anymore. I don't do the children's clothing online anymore. It's only in store, because we have an outside vendor that she sells in here for the children's clothing. But as far as the women's apparel, I carry all ages and sizes. And so like I've noticed that, you know, my Facebook page reaches the like my age group and older usually. I would consider myself middle-aged at this point. But, you know, like 35-ish to, you know, 70 probably at this point, they're on Facebook. So that's usually the people that are going to see those marketing, you know, strategies and ads and things like that.
But that's good because those are the people with the money.
That's
to
correct.
pay for stuff in a boutique.
That is correct. And then I have my TikTok followers that most of them are just there to see Delaney look awesome in all of her outfits because she is such a rock star. She does a great job. She is such a natural in front of the camera, and she is just, I know she's going to be stolen out from under me by some major company at some point. And so I'm just like, don't forget me, you know, remember the little people whenever you're famous. But she is amazing. And so, pretty much all of our TikTok followers are there for her, and I am on board with it. But, that platform usually reaches, you know, the teenager to, you know, I would say 45 probably. But it's usually the younger crowd on TikTok. So I actually don't get as many orders on TikTok as I do from Facebook or from our live sales. But that is, I still want those people to see us and know that we're there and we are an option if they want to shop. So
which is kind of surprising to me. And I think she's working on that. I'd like to see the TikTok deal more than what, in my mind.
That honestly probably boils down to the people that are the age demographic that's on Facebook is the people who have the money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the teens and stuff, they are looking for the new trendy thing. So that's probably honestly why.
Right.
And then those people will move into that other demographic as you continue and grow and all that stuff too. So
yeah.
What is there any other are you on Instagram or anything like that?
We are on Instagram. Now I will say that I am not very good with Instagram. Like I'm that age where, I mean, I think you're a little bit younger than me. I'm the age where like Facebook was big when we were in school. And so like, I've just always been on Facebook because of that. But, you know, Instagram didn't really come out or get big until I was like late 20s or so. And so I never really got into it. It was for younger people. And so now that I need to be on it, I'm having a hard time with the learning curve. Like I don't understand a lot of it. I'm trying. I feel so dumb saying that. Like, how old am I? Like I am so old, but it's hard to like learn a new platform. You know, it just really is.
It would be nice if there's somebody that knows of one.
Hit me up.
Like, because
Facebook does not like me. It puts me in jail a lot. It like will ban me from advertising with them. It does not like.
Is it because you're doing live sales?
I don't know. I don't think it's the live sales. I think it thinks that I'm like fake news. I think it thinks I am
something because I don't know.
Well,
but she's more.
Facebook owns Instagram too, so Instagram probably wouldn't help you out that much in that area.
No, it would be nice if somebody would. Yeah, if somebody knows of something or if somebody could start something, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, you're looking for. Are you looking for those brand ambassador people more to bring on more? Or?
I always am looking for applicants. We actually had like a mini meeting the other day. So Delaney is like a permanent brand rep, and she will always be here as long as she wants to be here because she is like phenomenal. But the other brand reps that we bring on, they are with us for a limited amount of time, and then I have the option to keep them on longer if they want to stay on longer, but the contract's only for a very short period of time. I think it's like 2 months right now that they are brand reps for me. And like I am looking for them to reach a certain threshold with how many times their brand rep code is used. That's how I will choose if I want to keep them on or not. But what we have found since starting the brand rep program is that we will have somebody that is so enthusiastic about becoming a brand rep, and they will, just really sell themselves super well. And we will bring them on. And there's a lot of perks that come with being a brand rep. They get a really good discount code to use on all their purchases. They get free items periodically. They have a lot of perks that come with being a brand rep, and all they have to do is take photos in the clothing that we sell, and they have to post like 2 to 3 times a week on the multiple platforms that we are on. Like 3 platforms is, and I don't even care if it's the same post on all of them. But what we end up seeing is that we have a lot of people that we bring on, and they are good about taking the freebies or the good discounts and stuff, and then they don't follow through with their end of it. They don't post as often as I require of them. They don't take pictures of the items that we have in stock. They'll take pictures of something that they've owned for several months that we're sold out of. We don't even have it anymore. And that doesn't do me any good. Like I wish that some of them would think about that, the whole reason for doing it is to make more sales. So if I don't have it in stock, it's not doing me a bit of good for you to post that, And then we have some that are ghost me as soon as they receive their first freebie. They just don't even do anything. And I have been burned by that many times. Yeah. To the point that we had a little mini meeting, me and Delaney, the other day about even continuing the brand rep program after this round, because I don't even know if we're going to continue to do it. I'm still on the fence about it. We may just do a model call every once in a while and have some people. The reason that we even have the brand rep program in place is so that I have models of different ages and sizes to show the fits of the different products. Because as far as just taking modeling pictures and photos of the products, me and Delaney could handle that. We could do it ourselves. But I know some people want to see it on a plus sized model, or they want to see it, on somebody a little bit older or something like that.
Taller, wider, anything like that. Yeah.
Just different shapes, and so I do know that people want to see that. It's just, I don't know that people understand how hard it is to find people to do that consistently.
Well, not in their defense, but it is very hard. And I don't think people get enough credit for this that are creative and putting out content or even marketing your own business.
Right.
It is very hard to stay consistent with putting out good stuff.
Yes.
And people probably get the freebie. They feel like they got something, and then they don't even intentionally try to fall off, you know?
Yeah.
And it's hard to keep up with stuff. You have kids go, life, all that stuff.
No, I totally get that.
That's one thing people overlook that a lot. Posting, even
they have the best of intentions
your own
going in.
Stuff. Yeah.
Right. I agree.
I mean, some people probably don't. They just want the freebie. They know they're going to get that, so they do that. But
I feel like all of them that we have, quote unquote, been burned by have been gone into it with the best of intentions and just couldn't keep consistent with it. And that's understandable. It is hard. And I will toot Delaney's horn all day long, because I don't think people realize how much she puts into. People think that she just comes in here and tries a few outfits on, takes a couple of pictures, and she's just cute like that all the time. And she is cute like that all the time, but she spends hours in here. She puts different outfits together. She plans those outfits out. That is not me. That is all her. She plans those outfits out. She spends the time to, stylize them the different ways that, she would wear them, or she would like to see people wear them. Here she is right here hauling in all of her stuff. She literally brings her entire closet. She brings all of her shoes to accessorize different outfits. She she puts in the work. And then, you know, just to take the photos, I don't know if any of you guys have ever tried to take a good photo of yourself. That is the hardest thing in the world. That is so hard, you know, especially for a woman who sees every single flaw in herself, to get the right angle, to get the right lighting, to make sure that the outfit looks, you know, like it's supposed to. A lot of times the things that she is trying on are already tagged. So you've got to hide those tags, and I don't even care if they're showing, because, you know, that's the last thing I'm worried about. She's putting in the work, and, you know, she's here for hours doing that, and she does it multiple times a week. And I don't think people realize that she is also a full-time RN. She works a full-time job and then comes here in her off time to do this, and helps me out with so many facets of this business that, I mean, I am so blessed to call her my friend and have her around.
That's the sort of people you want, like, as a small business.
Yes.
Like, if I had another photographer or something that would just swoop in and be like, hey, let me help you.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd be like, yes.
I tell her all the time that I cannot wait for this business to be doing well enough that I can, like, steal her away from her RN job and she can just work for me full time, because it would be a blast.
Are you looking into scaling, like growing?
Yes.
Or, and like, what avenues are you trying to take? So, like, say future goals, 5-year plan. How long have you been established? 3 years?
Well, in the boutique, 2021 was when I established, like, in August of 2021. So
almost 2 years exactly.
Yeah.
A couple of months shy.
Yeah.
So thinking another 2 years, we'll just double your time. Where do you see yourself in that time? Do you have some goals set, and what sort of plans do you have to make that happen?
I do have some goals set. So, like, I don't have probably goals that most people would have. So again, because we have, you know, different things going on, my main goal right now is to get this business to be the sole provider for our family. I want my husband here home with me all the time. And if this is the sole provider, he can be here and helping me here. You know, I rely on him for a lot. So if he was here full time to help me with those things, instead of me having to wait till he's home for a day on the weekend. And, you know, I feel so bad asking him to do some of that stuff on his day off, but, it would be so nice for him to be here full time. It would be nice to have the ability to hire on a bunch of employees to help me with some of the stuff that I am doing by myself right now, because I am here like every day until late. Like, we're open 10 a.m. to 7, but most of the time I'm here until, like, it's not unusual for me to get home at 10:30 at night. And then I'm up all night on my phone, you know, planning things for the next day or getting posts put together. You know, if I could get to the point where I am able to hire a social media manager, or, you know, somebody to run the desk and, you know, a couple of other things while I am working on other parts of the business, you know, that would be amazing. So, you know, at the moment, our goal by the end of this year is to double what we are making in sales at the moment. And that's actually what my meeting today is about, is to, you know, get to that goal, which I'm being told is a very doable goal. So
Are you comfortable talking about money? Monetary?
I don't know. Is that smart, or is that not smart? I don't know. Like, I don't care to talk about it, but I don't want it to, like, set us up for a disaster either.
Yeah.
Like, in my head, I always like to hear what people are making.
Yeah.
And like, but I don't
mind to talk about it if it's, like, normal to talk about it. I don't know if it's, like, a normal thing to talk about.
And this sort of, like, I kind of want to dive into that more.
Right.
And like, I find it inspirational. If someone's making more money, I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
How can I do that too?
It's definitely interesting.
Yeah.
Like,
and I actually,
seeing the numbers,
I'll actually,
you know,
I'll even go one step further and tell you, like, okay, so when we were out of our house doing the boutique, my goal at that point was to make $1,500 a month with the boutique in sales. That's sad for me now looking back on it, because, like, it happened a few times where I would make $1,500 in sales and I would get so excited about that. And then we opened the brick and mortar, and I really did not expect the boutique to be anything more than it already was. It was just going to be a place for me to keep all of our boutique stuff here in the store so that it was out of our house, kind of a thing, like a storage room, basically. Yeah. But we have grown by leaps and bounds since opening the brick and mortar. And I think it's because it's just inspired me to continue growing, because, you can only grow as big as your, imagination will take you.
It's like a fish that's in a small tank.
That's exactly right.
That's bigger exactly the tank, the bigger the fish gets.
Yes, exactly. So, now that we're in the brick and mortar, we are averaging $10,000 a month in sales.
That's awesome.
Yes, it is. And we're still a very small boutique. That is not what some of our, friends in the boutique world are making. Some of them are making a lot more than that.
That's what I was starting to say, the inspirational side, to know some of these others.
Yeah,
ladies,
there's a boutique that I follow religiously, and she's pretty
sweet.
Close by. And I don't know her personally or anything like that, but I've been a customer of hers for a long, long time. And it is nothing for her to, have on one live sale $10,000 in people's carts. She has grown hugely, and she started out of her house too. She started in her guest room.
But one caveat to that,
yes,
caveat, however you say that word, is you said in sales.
Yeah,
right.
that is not profit.
So keep in mind when we're hearing these numbers,
that is not profit.
That is sales, not profit.
Yes.
And there's a big difference in that, especially when you have a physical location, all that stuff. So all the overhead isn't taken out yet.
That's exactly why by the end of the year, I want to be making double that, because that's when you actually have money left over at the end of the month. So and one other thing that, I want new boutique owners to know, or people thinking about getting into it, is that took a lot to get to that point. It took a lot to get to that point, and that is not probably normal for boutiques. I don't really know, actually. I'm not positive. I do not know how some of the brick and mortars could function with any less than that in sales. I really don't. But I don't know how common it is to have, that or, more than that in sales in a month or anything like that. So do not go into it thinking it's going to be a money maker, because it is not. That is not profit.
Well, this has been all of your energy every day for 2 years now.
Yes.
And
I live, breathe, and eat it.
Yeah.
100%. And if you are a person that starts projects and doesn't stick with them, it's not for you. I am addicted to my businesses. I'm addicted to them to the point that it's a problem for me. We actually have to have family meetings about it sometimes. You have to put the phone down and look at us for a little while. Yeah. And so I am trying to balance that out. As far as the, business side of it goes, you have to be willing to put every ounce of yourself into something to make it work, and find where it's not working and fix it, and do what it takes to fix it. There are days where I make $0 in sales. There are days where, there are weeks where I am not anywhere near my goal, to reach by the end of the month. And I get scared and I get stressed, and I am what am I doing wrong? And then, the weekend will hit and it turns it all around. So, there are very, very many highs and lows in the business, and it is not for anybody that is not willing to do every single thing it takes. And I really try to do every single thing.
I think it goes back to that. That's to me.
Yeah.
That seems like it's with anything.
Anything.
Photography.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter. Just name it,
Mm-hmm.
And if
it's not your passion, it should not be your business.
I don't think you should have to tell people that, hey, it's not been easy.
Yeah.
We're going to tell you that, because that was it, but I don't think you should have to, and if you're somebody that, whatever it is you're doing, I would say, if you're that person, obviously you shouldn't have to tell them, stay in there, hang in there, keep pushing if that's what you like.
That's the sort of thing I wanted to kind of start to shift in this, especially anyone who watches my stuff. I'm hopefully trying to inspire them to do more. I'm not trying to ever say, hey, this is what I do. This is how much I make, or this is how much Niki makes, that.
Yeah.
I wanted to inspire the next people because you're at that level, which is amazing. It's great for you, great for your family.
Yeah.
But you can do more.
I can do more, and I want to do more. Yeah.
So, but it's not being in a greedy way.
No.
You can be satisfied, but still hungry for more.
Yeah. Right.
And I think that's something that a lot of people need to.
It's never always about the money. It's never that way. It's always about like, I want to reach more people. I want more, more people to know our brand. I want, you want that success so bad, and people measure success in different ways.
We're happy now.
We are.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm so excited that we are where we are.
I don't think we're going to be any more happy when you reach that. I mean, you're going to be happy about reaching that goal, but I'm saying like, I don't think that, we're happy now.
Yeah.
You reach that next goal. Like, I think it's like cool in this way, but you're like, we'll still be.
But whenever you reach that goal, then you'll set
There'll
another
be
goal.
Another one.
And then
like, you're just as
you have to grow or you'll die. You have to grow.
So,
and cool. For me, like, I think, I think a lot of people look at us as like a success story already. And I am so grateful for those people that think of us that way, because, that I truly appreciate all the support that I get from people, far away and right here at home. I am so thankful for them. But I don't feel like I am a true success yet. And I won't feel that way until I have at least reached the goal that this is, doing well enough that Bobby can be home full time. That's my main goal right now. And when we're there, I'll feel like we have been successful.
But then also, whenever you get to that point, that's your success.
Yeah.
But then you have two heads working on problems.
Yes.
And so that can multiply that success.
Yes.
That's one thing that was the hardest about working a full-time factory job.
Yeah.
And you were there whenever they tell you to be there. So I was working 56, 60 hours a week and then only have the weekend days to build my business on the side. Once I overcame my income for the factory, I was like, it would be stupid of me not to triple my time that I can put into this, because I know I love doing it.
That's right.
And that should be like the first thing. Like you love shopping, for better or worse. You love shopping, so that's your thing. You're really good at it, but you're also good at knowing what would fit or other people would like.
Yeah.
So like me, I've always had the artistic eye, being a musician, all that stuff. So I knew I could lean into that creativity and scale it.
Yeah.
And like, that's one thing you mentioned, being passionate about it. I almost disagree with that. I feel like people should figure out what you're good at.
Yeah.
You might not have a passion for it,
Yeah,
but if you're
true.
really, really good at something and you lean into it,
Yeah.
the money and the passion will come because you are doing
true.
something you're good at.
That is true.
No one wants to do stuff that they don't like.
Right.
No one wants to go to a factory and work. No one wants to be on the road and not see their family every, for weeks or months at a time.
Yeah.
So you're not going to be passionate about trucking, but you can be successful
Very
at it.
good at it. Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah. And, another thing that all business owners know right now is that this economy is not helping anybody out, especially if you own a business that is not a necessity. So I do try to like pep talk myself, especially on those harder weeks, is that, it's, that's maybe the problem. People don't have those extra dollars to be spending, right now. And so, I also try to keep that in mind whenever I am setting goals for ourselves right now. And we also try to use that knowledge when planning things out in the store. We try to keep a variety of things in stock. We definitely try to keep budget-friendly things in stock, as well as the bougier items that, people are looking to splurge on, save up for, things like that. But we do try to keep that in mind. The economy is not helping anybody out. Yeah. Hopefully that will turn around, and then we'll just be huge after.
You'll quadruple.
Hopefully. I mean,
then
you never
you'll have
know.
No choice but to hire on people.
You never
and
know.
all that
But
stuff.
I really think that is part of the reason that we are seeing so many boutiques closing, because it is hard right now. It is really hard. And people are having a hard time, not just business owners. People are living paycheck to paycheck right now. People are having a hard time, affording fuel to get back and forth to work right now. Like, it is hard times out there for people. And so, if if you have a storefront that people are, they'll shop with you if they've got some extra money, but they have no problem like passing you up either, then you're gonna struggle hard. So it's not for everybody. That is just, I could not emphasize that enough. Like you need to keep that in mind that, there are so many factors that go into owning a business and being successful in business, especially owning a boutique. There's a lot of things that can affect how well you do.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I was going to ask to wrap it up was if you'd experienced any self-doubt along the way or advice you would give to someone who wants to start a business that hadn't quite taken that leap.
Yeah.
I think you just kind of summed it up right there. Like, it's really not for everybody.
It's not.
And
I mean, yeah.
I'll tell you one of the things that gets me a lot of times. I think about this quite a bit. Maybe you could relate. I almost 100% want to make everything work because if you ever stop and think like if you didn't own your, like, what would you be, like, I don't want to go back to that factory.
Yeah.
Like, I do not
What's
want to.
What's the alternative? Yeah.
I do not want to. So I want.
You don't want me going
work.
back to night shift.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, they're like, that's the good stuff to.
Yeah.
And like the nights, it ain't that you don't do a good job wherever that is, putting the time in but I just assume do it for yourself.
And we have had times where, we have had real struggles in our businesses before where we were, afraid that, everything was going to come crumbling down real fast and in a hurry. Like we did not see any light at the end of the tunnel for it to, even if we did everything in our power, we didn't see how we were going to be able to fix it. Yeah. Last year was an example of that time where the trucking industry took like such a huge hit and it just like left us in a real pickle. We were under a bad contract with a company that really did us dirty. And, you will hit hard times like that, no matter what your business is. And you just have to have faith. Faith is a big part of it for me personally. You have to have faith that, God's going to work it out for you. You just have to, be open to listening to him and doing what he wants you to do. But you also can't, just rely on him to fix it for you. You've got to be able to put in that effort, that work, and be a problem solver. This is my favorite thing I tell my kids. Everybody in my house is sick of hearing this, but sounds like you're a problem causer, not a problem solver. And we all have to be problem solvers. You've got to look at what is wrong and try to figure out what you can do to fix the situation. So you just have to be real good at not freaking out. Because I am an anxious personality, so I definitely freak out immediately. And I'll freak out for a couple of days and I'll cause myself, a lot of stress and a lot of headaches for Bobby too. But, once you calm down and you like look at the problem, from outside of the box a little bit, you're able to usually figure it out, make it work. Even if it's a temporary fix until you can get a long-term fix in place, you've got to be able to do that. If you can't do that, if you're not able to, look at things and fix the problem or
adapt to changing times, like the trucking industry.
You have to adapt and grow. You have to, or you will not make it.
Like you grow or die.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what I think. Like if I'm not pushing, then I'm falling behind.
That's exactly right.
If I'm not advancing, then I feel like I'm being left behind.
Yeah.
And I know like in our sort of area where I'm based at, like I'm sort of the leader in a lot of things now. And I've just positioned myself in that.
Yeah.
I was, I'm not any better than anybody else at the stuff. Like there's other photographers around here that's won tons of awards and all that stuff, but I'm not winning award. I don't care about awards.
Yeah, that's
like
not
I just want to
success
succeed
to you.
For me,
right?
And me pushing me,
that's
and
how I
focusing
feel.
on me. Like you were talking about the boutiques that focus on the other boutiques. That's why if you're selling the same exact thing at this exact same price, why should they come to your store instead of this store that's a mile closer?
Right.
But if you position how you have, like you're building a community of friends, everyone's helping each other, like comments and sizing, and I've clicked on your stuff enough to know, not that I'm going to buy a whole bunch of boutique stuff, I usually just leave you a funny comment.
Yeah.
But like I'll watch to see how you're presenting stuff. And like I can take stuff in my career from how you are presenting clothing to people.
Right.
Just by watching the little things. And that's sort of the aspect of the podcast.
Absolutely.
Is getting other people's mindset across.
Learn from others.
Yeah.
Even in other industries, you can learn so much from other people. And, you know, knowledge is power. And the more you are learning every single day, the more you are growing and you don't even know it. So as long as you can always be learning from others, and listening to people is the best way to do that. You know, just listen and you will learn so much. And I don't know, I think we're pretty good at that. Like, you know,
I think so.
working on that every day. But, you know, another thing I wanted to touch on too is that, you know, we do have this storefront now as long, you know, as well as the website and app and Facebook community and everything. But, you know, the brick and mortar is in Roby. And if anybody that does not know the area, Roby is it even a township? What do they call it? Is it a village?
I don't know. It's
We
not
are
a village.
unincorporated, I believe, at least. Like it's a very small rural town. And not even a town.
When you drive through,
Yeah.
you will pass it without even knowing.
Yeah, we literally don't even have a stoplight. We have a gas station.
But there is a Dollar General.
We have a Dollar General now. That was like a huge deal for us. We have Dollar General now. Our store is actually directly across from Dollar General. And, you know, people will, you know, crack jokes and stuff about Roby, you know, having a store in Roby and things like that. But I think that works to my benefit because people write Roby off. It works to my benefit because these people that live here, and there's a lot more people that live here than people think. Plus, we are a commuter area. We have 5,000 to 7,000 cars that pass by my storefront every single day on their way to work in Houston, Fort Leonard Wood, or Lebanon. So we have a lot of commuter traffic that goes by as well. But the people that live here, they would prefer to not have to drive 30 to 45 minutes to go shopping anywhere. So, you know, providing this here for them is, you know, not only good for business for me, but it's also good for the, you know, economy right here in Little Roby.
Yeah.
And the more dollars you spend locally, the better it is for you in the long run. You should always shop local. And I feel like, you know, giving people that option here in Roby has also inspired other business owners in the very local area to give it a shot, you know? And so just since we have, and I'm not saying that I inspired all of these people at all. I'm just saying that, you know, we bought this building. We gave Roby a much needed facelift because it was ugly. It was an ugly building and we made it, you know, attractive again. And since then, we now have a local coffee shop that has gone up. We have, well, the Handlebar was actually here before us, but the Handlebar down the road here, you know, is, you know, a bar and grill down the road that has amazing hamburgers. We have the local food truck, Belly Up, is over here. And we just had a arcade open up down the road, arcade and eatery. What else am I forgetting?
Farmers market's coming.
Farmers market's coming this summer. So the little town of Roby that everybody cracked jokes about is blossoming into quite a destination. So I highly encourage anybody that is local that has not come through here yet or stopped by any of these local places, come by and check anybody out that, you know, I just mentioned because, you know, I love to see this community grow. It like really makes me proud of Roby that it is blossoming again. It used to be quite the, you know, place, you know, back in the day, from what I understand, it was really happening back in the day, but you know, it kind of fell off for a while. And I think that our generation is really making a great effort to bring it back, to, you know, make local things happen again, to, you know, try to keep the community tight knit and, you know, if you can do it here at home, that's where you should do it. So that's what we're all working towards all together, whether we even are meaning to or not. We are growing our little community by leaps and bounds.
But just like showing the possibility.
Absolutely.
You guys opening this here may have directly correlated to someone else being like, if they can do that there, then surely I can open a little coffee shop over here.
Right.
Everyone likes coffee, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So you can have a direct impact.
And they all seem to be doing so successfully. Like they are all doing great. And I am so happy to see that. The support from the locals are, it's just amazing. I'm just very happy to see it. And I think that, if we can get more businesses up and running, the better. I think it's great. I wanted to touch on that for a minute.
It only brings more.
That's right.
More businesses bring more business.
That is right.
So.
Yeah. And I'm so proud of everybody.
Thank you guys for being on the podcast. We're going to wrap it up. We got to go get the kids from school.
Thank you.
But great success so far. I'm looking forward to you doubling by the end of the year.
Hopefully.
So maybe we'll revisit.
Yeah, that would be great.
A little bit of, like another year or something.
Sure.
Come back and have another episode and see where everything's at, and see if trucking industry has upturned or anything like that. So I'll link all of your stuff, all of your shop stuff in YouTube, Spotify, all that. So if anyone is listening and you want to check out Niki's online store, all of that will be there. The address for the physical location, I'll make sure all that stuff is on there.
Perfect.
So, and make sure you don't Google.
Yeah, do
not Google.
Don't
Barefoot Beauties.
Unless you're into that. I mean, I don't know.
Do that after you shop on the actual site.
Yeah.
All right.
Please.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Sweno Creative Podcast.
So I know you're the actual brains behind all this, right? Yeah? How old are you?
I am 3.
You are 3. What's your favorite thing about your mom and dad?
Christmas.
That was my favorite thing growing up too.
Thanks. See ya.